Today, we are going to talk about what is next for Doge. And then toward the end of the video, I want to talk about and provide some evidence for the future and the strength of Bitcoin as it stands right now. I was so excited. I have switched to the chart for Doge right now. I was so excited, according to the last video I made, where we were in the throes of trying to break and did break eventually these very two critical levels in Doge. And I was happy to see that. I think I made a video when this candle right here, the screen candle was right around here, and hadn't gotten through the resistance, was up to this resistance. And we blasted through it yesterday, even closed above the resistance. And of course, today we see a softness across most altcoins, and Doge has been the casualty of it so far, in that it has brought us back below this level of about 0.087. Let's talk about this level. This level has been critical. I'll just leave these doodles here. As I look at this gray area right here, this level has been critical as we've experienced this run up in October, November, and the fall down in January. You can see the market came up to this level, reacted and was pushed down, reacted around this level about 2 days in a row right here before finally breaking through. And then you can see this wick on this day here. It came back down and retested this level here. And then you can see the market reacted here. This level was support for a while before it broke through, acted as resistance, broke through, and now has been right around this area right here. And this still is a kind of a decent looking chart still, as we see a run up here. Okay. Still higher highs and higher lows. I don't want to see this bar here. I don't want to see today close below yesterday's open. I don't want to see the red bar close below this bar. That would not be a good sign, but it's not a terrible looking. It's a terrible looking bar right now, but the actual price action the last couple of weeks still looks pretty good for Doge. But the fact of the matter is, we had broken this market reaction level, these support and resistance levels, these liquidity levels. People call them all different things. And because of the timing and softness that we're seeing across crypto right now, we have given that level up. Of course, we want to see this reverse and get back above the close, roughly around 0.09. And goodness, I was so happy to see that in Doge because we had wrestled with it several times. It was good to see us get above there. We are also wrestling with this downtrend line, this blue line right here that just came through. And I'm zooming out now to take a look at that so you can see from whence that line came. All right, this is the daily chart. It's a extended daily chart, but here's the blue line. It encompasses, I always get that word mixed up. It holds this data from the top of December 2022, the top of April 23. It is a downtrend. Down here toward the bottom, you can see its lower equivalent, which also captures these wicks back through 22 and 23. And this is holding price that is showing lower highs and lower lows, which is the definition of a downtrend. That is what this blue line is reflecting. Now, of course, we broke out of this downtrend in this run up we had in December. But in the retracing and the fall that we had in January, Doge entered right back into the downtrend line. And we're kind of still there, although we did also break out on that yesterday as well, which was really why it was a great move for Doge to see us get not only above, but to close above this level here. Well, we're back battling this downtrend line. And so the fact of the matter is, while the long term, the last couple of weeks still look just fine, today we've got some work to do to get back above this level, and we need to get closed above 0.09. That is the next move that needs to happen for Doge. With the softness that we're seeing across crypto right now, I've been watching VET, and we'll do a video on that soon. We're seeing softness on VET even after a fantastic run up last week. HBAR is seeing softness even after gaining 30% yesterday. So we're just seeing softness across the coins. So we may have to endure, and it really just depends on what Bitcoin and some of these other big movers are going to do. We may have to endure coming back into this and drifting back down to 0.08 or this level. Again, it just depends. You can see here Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen in crypto from day to day. Nobody knew that VET was going to break and gain 40 to 50% in a day. Nobody knew that H bar was going to break and gain 30% in a day. Nobody knows what's going to happen with these these altcoins over the next few days, but we are definitely seeing a softness as Bitcoin really is struggling to get above this 52,000 level that it has been wrestling with here almost a week now, and that is affecting the altcoins. Altcoins are kind of interesting. Bitcoin is generally the fuel the fuel that fuels these altcoin moves, and when Bitcoin tends to stall, the altcoins start drifting down even before Bitcoin falls. So these altcoins do lag, generally speaking. And as Bitcoin goes up, the altcoins are generally delayed, but they will, in their own time, also follow up. But once Bitcoin stalls, the altcoins get soft, and they get soft before Bitcoin generally. So they are softening up. It might show an indication that Bitcoin's going to start falling, which is what a lot of people are saying is going to happen, because that has historically been the reaction of Bitcoin before the halving, which comes up here in April. April 20th is the estimated date, and some are calling for a 10-20% fall, retrace as it's called, in Bitcoin before we go through the halving and then bounce back up. So we might be seeing the beginnings of that. But the fact of the matter is, the fundamentals that have caused this rise in Bitcoin and thus the rise in altcoins is still continuing. And the fundamentals are simply this: we still have tons of money coming into Bitcoin through these ETFs that were approved last January. Bitcoin Magazine says last week had the largest weekly inflows into the Bitcoin ETFs on record at 2.45 billion. That's about 500 million every business day. You can look right here. Here is the candle of the monies coming into these Bitcoin ETFs. Last week was huge. Obviously, if this week continues with that amount of money coming into these ETFs, eventually Bitcoin's going to have to continue going up, because there's just so much demand and so little supply. As a fun fact, 80% of Bitcoin has not changed hands in the past 6 months. And why would you? Why would you sell your Bitcoin in the past 6 months? Most people would not. They're holding on to it for the expected run in 2024 and 25. So they're not letting go of their Bitcoin. So all this new money coming into Bitcoin is really trading on only 20% of the Bitcoin supply. And that's an interesting fact. That is a supply and demand situation where there's just a ton of demand and limited supply. So Bitcoin is still strong. What happens in the intermediate over the next few weeks or months is rather unimportant for the long-term outlook for 2024 and 2025. And you can say the same about Doge. What happens with over the next few weeks is really not that much of a concern for Doge, although Doge does need to make some progress. We're seeing some progress across a lot of these other altcoins. I've already showed you VET. I've already showed you HBAR. ADA has broken its level. Now it may come down and test it again, but its level was right here at about 0.6. Let's see, Matic is wrestling with it and its level, and it's kind of like Doge. It's having a hard time getting above this 1, and it is also, as you can see today, seeing some red bar, a big red bar being printed. So we'll have to endure what looks like, at least today, a little bit of down, a little bit of falling in these coins, and we'll have to see if that is the beginning of a small retrace. And when I say small, I mean relatively small in the big picture of things for Bitcoin, Doge, and the other altcoins. All right, that's my outlook on Doge. This is still a very critical level until we can get above it and hold. We really have well, that's what's got to happen before we can push higher. That's just the fact of the matter. Got to get above 0.09 and hold for a while in preparation for a move up. All right, that's Doge. I'll keep you updated. Take care.